What's going on, Hot Take Hockey? And I cannot believe it. Game 4. Honestly, for me, it's been the most entertaining game of the series thus far. I cannot fathom that Washington is one game away from their first ever franchise Stanley Cup. I was so hyped. I was so excited. I just had to bring on the GOAT, the amazing man himself. That's right, the music wizard himself. I had to bring Austin on for this game recap because I know for a fact that he was watching this game step for step throughout this entire thing. And Austin, honestly, what did you think of this game going into this game? And did it meet your expectations for a thrilling game 4?
It sure did, Trent. It met all my expectations. But I think a quote, not to go randomly off topic, but when John Cooper said in Game 7, post-game interview, he was telling the media, if you told me that we were going to be down 3-0 after 2 periods with how we've been playing, I would have thought you were crazy. And it's like, I thought this was crazy how after the first period, I mean, they weren't completely out shooting the Capitals, but they were definitely out chancing them and like the better. I mean, I don't want to say the better team. I'm stretching them when I say that. I shouldn't say that. But the way the energy was in the very beginning of the game, I thought Vegas would have been up by a goal or two. And, I mean, they even hit the post a couple of times. And yet, after the first period, you see that if you're looking at the score, it's 3-0 Capitals, and you're like, wait, what? Is that for real? And it's just – and it's not luck. I mean, yeah, because the post was hit 4 times by Vegas. But it's like hope he had a solid game in net. And just overall, the Capitals' performance – all 4 lines, all 3 D lines, and their goaltender. And you can even say Philip Grubauer was probably great tonight talking to his team. He's a good backup goaltender. I mean, he'll get his name on the cup because he played a couple of games in the first round if they win the Stanley Cup. It's just amazing that we kept saying from day one of this season that before they became a playoff team, it's like that they weren't going to get this far, and no matter who you were. I thought they were going to be okay, but never maybe in the bubble, but I never thought they were going to make the playoffs. And then when they did the playoffs, I did believe in them from that point on. I said they were going to be the Kings. I thought it was going to be a sweep. Second round, I thought was going to be their first ever roadblock, that they were going to first have difficulty with the Sharks. And they did, but they took the difficulty and just swiped it away immediately. And then the Jets, that people thought that was going to be even more difficult than the Sharks. But what happened after one game, and they just dusted off their shoulders after that game 1 loss and beat them 4 straight. And I'm not saying I couldn't see the Capitals giving them problems, but not like this. I never thought that the Vegas would have been struggling. This is a new level for like both the Capitals' amazingness and like the Golden Knights' weakness. It's like we always thought, when is it going to happen? When are they going to finally start crumbling down? I mean, and it's not to be mean when we say that, because it's like you think it's going to happen. We all thought of that. But Capitals I was telling this to my parents, just because they never made the conference finals in 20 years, and especially the Ovechkin era, they've played straight off playoff hockey for like, what, a decade now? And it's like, it's been – over a decade. And mostly it's been most of them time it's like they get eliminated in the second round. 1 or 2 times they got eliminated in the first round. But still, that is so many years in a row of playoff hockey experience despite not making the conference finals. So it's a whole different animal, the conference finals, but it doesn't matter. Like, they had so much experience, just as much as the Lightning, and they proved it by being the better team and able to, win that series. And they just continuing to build that off, losing the first 2 games to Columbus in Washington, then winning the next 4 straight. Their demons, their nightmares, the Achilles heel. They beat the Penguins. And the Lightning have been, a thorn in their side somewhat. I mean, in the playoffs especially, despite, they've only played the Lightning 2 times in the playoff history, but still, they were definitely a roadblock, and they managed to just battle through it, being down 3-2 and winning the last 2 games. In this series, they've just taken a stranglehold on that series. I mean, the Game 1 loss could have gone either way because it was a high-scoring game, 6-4, but they've just overwhelmed the Knights, and it's like. And despite, they beat my team, they beat them fair. Like, Ovechkin's the better leader, and you've seen him throughout the playoffs. Like I was saying this to my mom and dad. I love Stamkos, and I hate to say this and insult him, like like how the press, when they, kind of are not mean, but like they really get to you when they ask those questions. Stamkos was not playing like a captain, and I hate to say that, but it's like Ovechkin. Look at him getting the body, finding those passes, making some great assists, scoring 14 goals. He's doing not just his usual what Stamkos was doing, his wheelhouse office like one-time shot. He's doing more than that, making those plays, going the forecheck. He's doing every little detail like a captain should. And the team around him is following him. The fourth line, Smith, Pelly, and Beagle. You got the line of Backstrom and Oshie. You've got their third line of Lars Eller. They're just all clicking together, and their defense pair. Like Michael Kempny was that must have been, I would say, the most underrated trade deadline pick. He gets a Stanley Cup playoff goal, a final goal that seals the deal because Vegas was coming back in this game, scoring 2 goals. And what does Michael Kempny do? He gets back their 3-goal lead, shuts them up, and it's like that's it. I'm sorry for going off on a tangent. I feel like I'm talking too much. I apologize to the Bottom Line View audience. I hope I'm not saying too much, Trent.
Don't apologize there, Austin. You're passionate. This is good. This is what we want. We're Hot Take Hockey, for goodness sakes. We get passionate about these kinds of things. And, as Austin said, during this game, I said last game was the worst game I've seen Vegas play in their entire career. This game was even 10 times worse than that. As Austin said, this is finally—
It's like a Lightning game. It's like when they beat us 6-2 on our home ice back in Game 2. It's like now they're just like they can't do anything now. They're playing terrible hockey.
It's true. It's true. Now we look at the goals. Let's look at them a little bit more in depth. The first goal by Washington, honestly, Marc-Andre Fleury, you can't really blame the kid. It was kind of like a bit of a scramble play. TJ Oshie, he's able just to get a shovel shot on the backhand right in front of Fleury and gets him past him. The second goal, that one was a little bit iffy, I will admit. Wilson, he's in the slot. Fleury is in the butterfly position, in perfect position, but he thinks that Wilson is going to shoot high, so he immediately tries to jump up to stop the shot, and it just ends up going right underneath him. So, honestly, that's a little bit of a brain fart by Marc-Andre Fleury. Just knocked it up.
And credits to Tom Wilson on that goal. Yeah. It's like he started the play. It's like that was an amazing setup.
It's true. Definitely true. Third goal was like an incredible soccer play. We're getting into the FIFA World Cup. Devontae Smith-Pelly, get on FIFA for Team USA. You knock down the puck with your foot and then immediately able to get it to your stick. And not only that, but snipe it on Marc-Andre Fleury's short side. Oh my gosh, Devontae Smith-Pelly looked like Alexander Ovechkin out there. Honestly, If he was wearing an Ovechkin jersey, I would not have been able to tell the difference at all. It was such a beautiful little snipe. Absolutely incredible. Second period, we have John Carlson, the future free agent, doing an Alexander Ovechkin slap shot. It was so much of an Alexander Ovechkin play that NHL.com, I don't know if any of you guys saw this, but I was doing notes and I had NHL.com's Game Center on my feed as well. They said that Ovechkin scored that goal. They didn't realize that it was Carlson. They didn't realize that Ovechkin was in the corner just because it was so much of an Ovechkin-like shot and so much like an Ovechkin that they called it Ovechkin's goal for the first 2 minutes.
I fell for it too because it's like the way he looked and the way he was positioned. That's Ovechkin's office right there, and I was like, oh, that's not Ovechkin. I was even I got bamboozled there.
Yep, absolutely. Third period, Vegas, they finally start getting a little bit of life. In fact, James, the real deal Neal, he got high-sticked earlier in the second period. He's pissed off. He gets the trainer to go over, kiss his stick a couple times, rub it off. He starts banging it against the glass, trying to get some luck into it, and he's able to do it as he's right below the goal line, picks up the puck, basically dekes around one of the Washington Capitals, and is able to get a very nice little goal against Braden Holtby. And then all of a sudden, Riley Smith makes it a 4-2 game against the Washington Capitals as he gets an absolutely unbelievable move past Braden Holtby and is able to sneak it right underneath his arm. But alas, Michael Kempny, another player who scores a goal like Alexander Ovechkin, basically a big old snipe, makes it a 5-2 game. And then Brett Connolly, I said that puck was going in 10 seconds before the goal even went in when I was sitting there watching it with my parents because I'm like, all right, goal. We're not even close to the net yet. But Washington was so in tune and so great with their passing plays that you just knew something big was going to happen. And Marc-Andre Fleury, he was playing like I used to play goal. You know, you're just flopping around. You're like trying to like stack the pads and do the roll. You know, you're in front of the body. And honestly, I'm not in the NHL, so obviously I know that that goaltending style does not work unless you're Dominic Hasek. But Marc-Andre Fleury, he's not either of those guys, so you knew a big play was going to happen. And the last 6-2 for the Washington Capitals to make it a 3-1 game, going back to Vegas. And that's the biggest thing. Vegas, they're now going back on their home ice, where honestly, for the most part, they played very, very well. And I'd say that they dominated most of the play that they had in Vegas. So honestly, for Vegas, I would not be too panicked during this game. Also, you saw a lot of players that stepped up in this game that really have not stepped up during the series, especially players like Lucas Sbisa. I was actually surprised to see how well Lucas Sbisa played tonight. He never played that well with the Vancouver Canucks. You know, Marc-Andre Fleury, yes, he did not play outstanding, but he still had some good moments. Eric Howell, he's starting to turn it on a lot. He played very physical tonight. I really liked how he played. Meanwhile, Cody Eakin, he was getting there a lot more physical than we usually get to see him. And then you look at the Washington Capitals, and it's basically their big players, as Austin said, that have been stepping up. Ovechkin stepped up. Oshie stepped up. You know, Smith-Pelly starting to step up. Orlov had a pretty big night, if you ask me. John Carlson played pretty incredible. And, of course, Michael Kempny played absolutely outstanding tonight. So, honestly, you know, Vegas, you did what I asked. You did what I asked if I said that you guys were going to win this game, because for the first 10 minutes, as Austin said, he said that, you know, he's not going to say that they dominated. I'm going to say that they did dominate. The first 10 minutes, they had a majority of the puck possession. They had a lot of shots, a couple posts in there, as Austin said. So you guys did what you guys needed to do. You tried to shut down the Washington Capitals fan base, but ultimately Washington was able to get a power play goal. So honestly, the biggest thing for you guys right now, you guys need to be a lot better defensively, because, or not defensively, but more disciplined for sure, because you guys took 5 penalties during this game. Derek Englund eventually got sent off the ice near the end of that game with a 10-minute game misconduct. So you guys are letting the emotions get to you. You guys need to calm down. Ryan Reeves, you need to stop trying to face wash Tom Wilson every single time he's on the ice. You know, you're going to get called for it. And especially you guys need to stop trying to draw the penalty with the big old snaps of the head back. That's like what really, really cost you. That's how Michael Kempny ended up scoring.
Yeah, they almost injured TJ Oshie there at the end of the game. And it's like you can act all angry you want that you're losing the game, but at the end of the day, that's not how you play. You lost the game. It's unsportsmanlike. It's undisciplinary. It really is.
It really is. Exactly. And honestly, that Michael Kempny goal would not have happened if Colin Miller did not, once he got hit like up high, it was like a chest hit, but he
by TJ Oshie, yeah.
And he starts like crawling around on the ice. If he didn't do that, if he stayed in the play,
it would only been down by 2 still, yeah.
It would only have been down by 2. The Michael Kempny goal would have not happened. You would have still been able to be on TJ Oshie, and the other defenseman could have gone and covered Kempny, and it would have been an easy stop, and you guys would have been able to go onto the offensive, which you guys were starting to turn on the pressure, which I'll commend you for. In the last few minutes, you guys were starting to turn on the pressure. So honestly, if Vegas wants to win the next game, in my opinion, they need to be A, more disciplined, and B, they need to be on the Washington Capitals like they have been for the majority of the entire series, but they need to do it more and more and more, and they can't let their emotions get to them. You have to realize it's still a game. You still have a chance. No matter what the score is on the scoreboard, you still have a chance, and Vegas just needs to keep on playing their game. And for Washington, they also need to keep on playing their game of the good old snipe, run and gun. You know, they need to keep on trying to get underneath Vegas Golden Knights' skin, because that's what's been working for them for the majority of the entire series. So good for them. We have a lot of people commenting right now there, Austin.
Yeah. Oh, do you want me to take over the chat, or
sure?
Or
why not? Austin, you take the chat. You take the comments.
Yeah, because you've been talking a lot. I don't want you to lose your voice. But we have first Rob Amen saying, "Do we see Malcolm Subban in Game 5?" I'm going to leave you to that question. What do you think about Rob Amen's question?
Rob Iman, absolutely not. Marc-Andre Fleury was absolutely rock solid for the first 3 rounds of the playoffs. Absolutely outstanding. This is the best I've seen Marc-Andre Fleury play ever in his entire career. Game 1, he played all right. Yes, he let in 4 goals, but he still played okay. Game 2, not as good. Game 3, nope. Game 4, terrible. does that mean that you had to put in Malcolm Subban? No, I'm surprised that we maybe did not see Malcolm Subban come in for maybe the third period or something like that when they were down 4-0, just to give Fleury a bit of a rest. But no, Malcolm Subban, he played decent during the regular season, but you have to remember he's not played a full season where he's played a good 30 games or something like that, 20 to 30 games as a backup. So I still see him, kind of not really being that good goaltender yet to take over. And Marc-Andre Fleury's been playing so outstanding, you got to give the nod to the flower. He's been here before, 3 Stanley Cups for nothing. Come on, you got to give your nod to him.
Yeah.
Austin, you?
Yeah, I agree. It's like Malcolm Subban's a future goalie and probably could be the future number 1 for Vegas. I do believe that, but for right now, it's definitely all Marc-Andre Fleury. It's like, despite the slip-ups in game 2, 3, and 4, especially in game 4, he's still the number 1 goalie. He's still one of the best goalies in the league by far. We have Von Hood saying, "Hi, guys. Let's go Capitals." I hope that the Capitals close it out on Thursday. Yes. But I'm going to say something about that after we get through all these comments. Ovechkin will kiss the cup on Thursday. Rob Ayaman says, and the Conn Smythe. I actually agree with you, Rob Ayaman, on that. I do believe that the Conn Smythe winner, if Washington wins the Stanley Cup, it's without a shadow of doubt, Ovechkin.
Or Kuznetsov. I'll say Kuznetsov.
Yeah, that's the only other one I could see, definitely. Von Hood says Vegas has some good chances in the first period. They did, and Flower needs to play better in Game 5. I'll be watching the FIFA World Cup. All right, Von Hood, so will I. I do love watching the FIFA World Cup. Von Hood says Austin was rocking the red. Yes, I am. Thank you so much. I was rocking the red. And Von Hood says also Trent. Yes, he is rocking the red.
Yes, I am, but Von has a maple leaf.
Canada. Also, Trent, will there be any supplemental discipline? Well, after what had happened tonight with those 3 Vegas Golden Knight players, England, and it was Reeves, and I forget the other player that was doing something wrong. Was it Colin Miller? McNabb, yeah. Well, and Colin Miller. If Vegas does what they were doing in the end of this game, then they're just going to give them like a 5-minute major or send them off the ice. I could see that happening because the way they acted at the end of the game was unsportsmanlike. So for Vegas, like Trent already said, the amount of penalties that Vegas should cause tomorrow is, well, ideally 0, but that's hard to do these days, is 1 penalty. And maybe it's like one that's you have to take a penalty because they should be the one that's getting more power plays. Because if you look at the power plays chances, Washington Capitals got 5 power play chances, and how many did they get? They got 3 out of 5, 60% of the power play tonight. You basically just handed them on a silver platter the game, especially with those penalties. Rusty Bucket says, boo, yes, boys, says John. John's in the live chat. USA is not in the World Cup. Yeah, Von Hood, that does suck, but, well, I mean, Trent doesn't care. I mean, Canada. I think they're in the World
Cup. Woo, Germany! Germany!
We'll be rooting for Germany in the FIFA World Cup. Von Hood says, I will be wearing red on Thursday. It's not that I don't want to wear red, Von Hood, but I've been switching back and forth. Game 1 was Vegas. I wore my Vegas, and then I wore Capitals on Game 2. And then Vegas Game 3 and Capitals, as you can see, Game 4. But I will be wearing my Vegas Golden Knight shirt tomorrow, or 2 days from now. Or no, 3 days from now, because they're going back to Vegas. But I could see some fines being handed out. Yeah, that's true, Rob Amon. That could be happening because of what happened tonight. I'm sure Trent maybe thinks so, or maybe not.
I think that would be the maximum. Maximum would be fines. There's definitely going to be no suspensions because there's going to be a team eliminated possibly on Thursday, so there's going to be no suspensions.
Yeah, so there's going to be maximum fines then for sure if that's what they'll do. But yeah, what my prediction is that I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't think it's going to be as high as it was tonight. I think the final score will be 3-2 Vegas, and it's not that I don't want the Capitals to win the Stanley Cup. I just think that Vegas is going to be able to just pull off one more victory, especially because they're going back to their home ice. I know they lost Game 2 in Vegas, but still, I mean, it was a close game though. That was actually a close game, and Vegas did, decent and good. It just, Capitals are able to win that game. But it doesn't matter whether Vegas wins Game 5 or not. Game 6. Well, if they win Game 5, it's going to be over in 6 games. It's like they're on Washington's home ice. Capitals are going to win the cup on front of their home ice That's what I'm saying right now. My hot take: Capitals win Game 6 in overtime and clinch the Stanley Cup. That's what I'm going to say.
All right there, Austin. That's a very interesting prediction. Meanwhile, for me, I'm going to say that Vegas comes back in this next game. The home crowd, they're not going to allow Washington to walk out easily with the Stanley Cup. I agree with Austin. It's going to be a tough game. But I think Vegas is going to be able to win it 3-1. I think the Flower will be able to be pumped up by his own crowd. He'll only be able to allow one goal. But Vegas will ultimately prevail. And I said Vegas was going to win this entire series. And if you guys know anything about me, I always stick to my word, even though it might be something completely ludicrous, like the Phoenix Coyotes or Arizona Coyotes would be the second-place team in the Pacific Division. I stick to it through and through. So Vegas,
it will happen one day. That will happen one day.
One day it will happen there, Austin, and that's when it will be 2080, and we'll all be excited, and you'll all say Big Trent was right that one time. But Vegas, they will still ultimately win the Stanley Cup. It will take them the full 7 games now. But you can be sure to ensure that you come back here. And unfortunately, you guys, some bittersweet news. You do not get a recap for Game 5 no matter what. I'm sorry, you do not get a recap. Instead, you get something a little bit better. You get a live reaction and a recap because we have an eliminating game, and that's the rule on the Bottom Line View, aka Hot Take Hockey. If there's an elimination game, you have to do a live reaction and a recap all in one.
Not just the period, a full game reaction, because this is it. This is the Stanley Cup.
This is the Stanley Cup, baby. So you better come back here on Thursday, and if you haven't already, you have to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon, because then you know immediately when we come live. So you can come here, join us, enjoy some good old times, because you know we're going to be having some great old times. And comment in the live chat, comment down below what you want to see. Be sure to like the videos, and of course, subscribe.
Of course. In fact, just one quick note, especially like you're saying, like any questions, comments, or concerns, whether you follow us on Twitter or commenting on below on the video on YouTube, especially because the off season is going to be happening soon. Any suggestions you have for off season videos, we want to hear them. Give us as many suggestions, and we want to make as many. We still want to be active on YouTube even during the off season. Whatever you guys want, well, we're here for you. We're NHL fans for you, the fans out there.
I could not say it better myself there, Austin. Austin, close out the video.
Peace out, everybody. Have a good night. We'll see you for the full game live Thursday night. Woo!